Hey, what's up everyone? Boozor here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over a Nightmare Hydra team that I put together and ran today. Um, the special thing, I guess, about this Hydra team is it's obviously free to play, and it's even more free to play than some of my other Nightmare Hydra teams. So um, I basically made this team to kind of test out some champions from a clanmate's roster, just to see if it was viable to even reach one key nightmare, and it ended up pretty good. So I'll show you guys the team. So this is the team that we end up running. Uugo, Bivold, Husk, Geo, Shamail, and Lydia. So I'll show you guys the champions first. I ran Uugo in the lead, and basically he just needs to be fast with decent survivability and enough accuracy to land his debuffs. So I recommend around 350 if you're going to be kind of strapped for gear. 320, 330 might be okay. But I wouldn't go any lower than that just because he has some important debuffs. So I ran Uugo in the lead, and then I ran Lydia. She's basically in my like dungeon gear. She's in a shield set, which doesn't really help, but she could be in any gear. And then I have her with resistance. It's pretty important, and I have her with okay accuracy, not awesome accuracy. And then I ran Bivold. Bivold's the provoker. Provoker is important because we have the head of decay in the starting rotation. You really need to lock down the head of decay. So Bivold is a pretty top-notch provoker. He was a past fusion, so I mean any late game free-to-play player could have acquired Bivold just from a fusion, so no shard luck is required to get Bivold. That's why I'm saying like this comp is very free to play. So Uugo is past fusion, Lydia's from Faction Wars, and then past fusion. You want him fast, so preferably when I say fast, anything over 250, just because 250 is kind of like the number you use to go ahead of the Mischief, whose speed is 250. Accuracy, I shot for at least 350, ideally more if you can swing it. Resistance, try to aim for 430 at least to have a good chance of resist, and then decent survivability. These stats, these champions don't really die, like very rarely. So they won't die first. Your damage dealers will die first. So you kind of don't really need to stack them that much more. And then for your DPS, I took 3 DPS. So first one I took was Shamail. Shamail basically is okay single target DPS. He can do good damage, but he's basically here to counter Torment if the run gets a little bit of bad luck and picks up Torment. But if you have Shamail on the team, you want Torment to pop up because Torment basically guarantees that you start going a bit faster, your team gets more turns. It's basically for your leader. So when Shamail clears the fears, your leader gets turn meter. So in this case, I picked Uugo, so Uugo gets more turn meter. So he'll get more AoE attacks, more strips, more chance to revive. If you have Nekmo, Nekmo is a great leader because he has turn meter boost, so he speeds up your whole team. So in this team, I chose not to use Nekmo or any of the high meta champions like Krisk, Nekmo, Duchess, even Uugo we don't even use. So this is a pretty, like, in my opinion, pretty bare bones like Nightmares team. it definitely has its flaws. So Shamail is one way to kind of get this run to work. If you pick up like a Torment head, you can get some extra damage from Shamail. So I just have him geared. He's kind of slow, okay damage. He has the survivability, and honestly, this survivability is not enough to keep him alive. He dies way too often. So yeah, the reviver really helps in this spot. Reflex or Relentless is really good for damage dealers. Okay, so my next damage dealer, Geomancer, he's in Relentless. Sorry, I said Reflex and Relentless, right? Yeah, Reflex and Relentless, they're like probably the best for damage dealers. Stats, good survivability, good accuracy, okay speed. And yeah, I mean, Geomancer does Geomancer things. He does a lot of damage, so make sure you target the heads that you want to kill first with his HP burn. And yeah, he'll do a lot of damage for you. Refresh accessories are always good on damage dealers. I mean, they're just good in general. So, and then my last damage dealer is Husk. Husk helps with the extra A1 provoke, so he helps Bivol out quite a bit because sometimes Bivol will miss with his A1, and you'll need the backup from Husk. He has decent accuracy to hit, but he won't hit all the time. I could probably glyph this guy up to like 330, 340. Maybe 330, but yeah, so a bit of accuracy on him to land the provokes as a backup will be very helpful. He has good speed, 100% crit, good HP. He's generally pretty tanky, especially for a damage dealer, and he works great in this rotation. So yeah, so that's the team. So I got 3 damage dealers, the provoker, backup provoker, Lydia for the speed up, strengthen. I don't have a speed down. I have attack down, but I don't have a speed down. So in terms of like total damage output without speed down, you're not gaining that many more turns, so you won't be doing as much damage even with 3 damage dealers. So it really depends. So it's like I said, this is like kind of like a stripped down nightmare team. Like you're not running Uugo, you're not running like Nekmo, Duchess, Krisk, like very kind of staple like nightmare champions. So and this team is pretty much free to play. I mean, you got 3 epics. Yes, avoid epic. You got Lydia. You got 2 fusions. So it's I mean, the gear, yeah, the gear's good, I guess. But you have a reviver, so if you have less gear, the reviver picks you up. And yeah, if you get unlucky, just restart, I guess. It's a manual run. This type of team will not be able to full auto, obviously. If you get lucky with the Torment head, you're gonna be having a good good performance, a good run, right? So I mean, it's just something to look out for. I mean, you guys wouldn't really see this as being a nightmare team, but it works. So I do have the run if you guys want to take a look. So sometimes you will lose the provoke on the cleansing head, but honestly, you just kind of need to hit the provoke on the first rotation just to basically desync it from the poison cloud, because you don't want the head of decay to cleanse and then poison cloud to land, because that's kind of just GG at that point. But when you desync it after the first rotation, then it's a lot more manageable. In this run, I did lose control of the cleansing head like once or twice, but it's very manageable. So you notice Shamail here, he's taking a beating, especially with the heal reduction landing on him all the time. No cleanser on this team really hurts. There's also not much leech, not much healing, so that also is really bad. Bivol by himself can't keep leech up the whole time. So you'll notice that my team goes down in terms of like life pretty fast. Right now we're on 2x speed, so it's sped up a little bit just to make the video less long. But so far, this is a pretty good start, I think. The Husk backup provoke is actually really, really clutch. If you guys have a Husk, he's really, really strong this rotation. So Shamail dies but gets picked up by Uugo. Very, very strong. Make sure you guys put the Geomancer HP burn on the head you want to kill first. So we always target the head of decay because it's the biggest trouble one. So our Husk went down, so we rely on Geomancer Shamail to open him up. So far, no issues. So the big thing here is you gotta make sure that the Wrath head is kind of controlled with the attack down and the block buffs. And you guys want to be aware of how many Wrath stacks he has, because you don't want to be caught off guard by his big hit. Trying to manage Uugo's strip ability. Notice how my Bibble actually doesn't generate a lot of heals or shields from his A3. He's not really built for damage. But I should probably give him some damage because his healing and shields is very, very weak. Okay, I'm starting to target the other heads because the K head is on its way out. Hey, Brimstone still working. Alright, doing pretty good. Since it's early in the turn count, there's lots of turns to release the champion, so I start focusing the headless Hydras for more damage. And we got the Torment Head on the first head that pops up. We got the Torment Head, so that I feel really safe at this point because the Torment Head means that our team will consistently be able to take more turns, more damage will come out. So I feel pretty good at this point. We're halfway there to the 1 key. You don't want to use the HP burn on headless serpents. Just so you guys are aware, the HP burn doesn't deal extra damage to the headless Hydras. Shamail does a ton of damage to like headless Hydras, like maybe like 600,000 sometimes with his A2. Make sure you guys remember that Uugo can't place the block buffs and then accuracy down if the Hydras have this protected buff on them. So Uugo cannot place his block buffs because the protected buff when they spawn counts as a buff. It's a little bit annoying, but it's just you guys might have noticed that I was managing it a little bit there. Double hits into the Torment Head means 2 shots from Shamail, means 2 turn meter boost ticks for your leader. I was probably preoccupied at that point, that's why there was a little stutter. Didn't misclick, that was a misclick. That was a misclick, because I should have just went A2, but then for some reason I clicked this by accident. The poison head actually deals quite a bit of damage, so you guys make sure you guys have some healing or shields or cleansing or Reviver. The Poison Head is in the opening rotation. The reason why I put the HP burn on the tanky head was because I thought the tanky head would swallow my champion first because I saw the turn meter was full. But it was this Hydra head that swallowed my champion. But both of them had the turn meters full, so I wasn't too sure which one to pick. But I picked the head of suffering, which was the wrong head. So I should have put the HP burn on the poison one, since the poison one ate my champion. But it's a bit of a 50-50 guess. I just wasn't sure which turn meter was first. Alright, Shamail doing his thing. I wish they did something with that animation. It just makes the run so much longer. You really feel the lack of speed down because it feels like my champions were very slow in this whole run. Mainly because the Hydras didn't have speed down, so it felt like I wasn't getting a lot of turns. But it was really hard to find champions that my clanmate had that made a good enough team that covered all the buffs and debuffs, or enough of them. So this is the best team that I could think of, and I was just trying it out, and it ended up working. So block buffs, block buffs on the head of decay, just in case the poison cloud gets cast. I wasn't really paying attention to the timer on the skill. 1 HP burn the decay right away. It's quite a bit of heal, especially when Shamail has Phantom Touch, so he heals quite a bit if there's Leech on, and then he starts triggering Phantom Touch. So that's a pretty clutch Husk A1. And right in time for the Bivold A2. So you notice that Husk and Bivold has a pretty good rotation. If Husk missed the, if Bivold misses the A1 provoke, then Husk has a chance. And sometimes Husk has, since Husk has Relentless, he sometimes has 2 chances. So really, really nice. Yeah, I had to go for the provoke there instead of the heal. I think the run started unraveling here because I wasn't able to provoke that one time. There's the cleanse right into Wrath, who has full stacks. So that's where the run basically went down. I lost Shamail. I could still come back into this, but Wrath is looking pretty threatening, especially with my team pretty low health. Yep, and there it is. So 36, I barely made it past the 1 key. Yeah, so there it is. I barely made it past the 1 key, but honestly, this team had way more legs in this run. I could have easily gone to like 45 or 50 mil if I didn't miss that one provoke from Bivold, which led to the cleanse into a full stack Wrath AoE into basically poisons landing on me, and then followed by the Wrath wipe. So I think I could have gotten a lot better result, but in this case we just went just barely past the 1 key. Husk and Geomancer doing most of the damage, Shamail doing a little bit, Lydia doing damage from Brimstone, Uugo from Brimstone, and probably TM boost, and then Bibble doing a little bit from Brimstone. So I mean, it's a pretty good like free to play team. Like I said, the champions are fusions or free or epics. So it's hard to get any more free to play nightmare worthy team than that, right? So here's the team again. Yeah, feel free to try it out. I mean, it's not going to be a 100% team, and it relies on a little bit of RNG and obviously manual gameplay. But if you're on the edge of Nightmare, then this is definitely something worth trying. The gear threshold is high, but you can kind of make it work with less damage stats or slightly less survivability. But we're talking Nightmare, right? So it's like end game content. So hopefully you guys have good enough gear. If you guys can clear Brutal, you guys probably have gear close enough to do Nightmare. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's gonna be it for today. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And if you guys have any comments below, comments about the video, make sure you guys leave a comment. I like reading them and I always reply. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.